In this video, we're going to talk about how you can align controls on a panel card in a mobile application. So you can see here we have a simple UX component running in the mobile simulator, and what we'd like to do is center this button and then left align this button and right align that button over here. So let's go now and see how this is going to work. And of course we want the buttons to remain centered and aligned correctly on an orientation change. So we'll go back to design mode, and let's first start with the center button here. So we'll go to this button and we'll wrap it in a container. So we'll go here and put a container around that button. Then we'll set this container's width to 100%, and we'll set the container's alignment to center. So now let's go over to working preview, and we can see the button is centered, and if we change our orientation, the button is still centered. So now let's go and take a look at button left and button right. So these two buttons, the technique that we're going to use to display these buttons left and right is also to wrap these buttons in containers, but wrap each one in its own container. So I'm going to go here to containers and put a container around button left and then another container around button right. But this time I'm going to set this container's width not to 100% but to 50%, and I'm going to set its alignment to left, which of course is the default. Then this container here, we're going to go set its width to 50%, but this time we're going to choose right aligned. So now this button is is in a container whose contents is left aligned, and this button is in a container whose contents is right aligned. And then we're going to turn off the break between these two containers so that these two containers now appear side by side. So now we go to working preview and we can see there's button left and button right, and when we do an orientation change it still looks correct. And then let's go now to say iPad horizontal, and we can see that everything still looks correct. Now let's take this a little bit further and talk about buttons that appear inside panel headers and panel footers. So let's go now and put two additional buttons inside this panel footer. So I'll go there and put two buttons over there, turn off the break between these two buttons, and now when I go to working preview I'm going to see, let's just switch to a smaller device here, say iPhone, that the two buttons are both left aligned. Now we can more easily align buttons that are in panel headers and panel footers by using the tab stop control. So the tab stop control can only be used in a panel header and a panel footer. So what we're going to do over here is, after this button, put in a tab stop. So now when we go to working preview, we can see now that this button is left aligned and this button is right aligned, and when we do an orientation change they still remain left aligned and right aligned. So what we've shown you over here is how easy it is to align controls on a panel card, and how this alignment holds up on an orientation change event. Thanks very much for watching.